Hey guys, and welcome back to another one of my videos. So if you're struggling with mastering your VRChat facial expressions or just hand expressions as well, today I'm going to be showing you how to get around this and some tips and tricks along the way. Please do note that this isn't going to teach you how to use your expressions or well, how to master them, but rather just point you in the right directions and just few general my tips that I have to show you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So once you're in VR, there's actually few things that you need to learn and master before you can start getting to know your expressions better, and few things that you need to be aware of. So let's get the easiest thing out of the way, which would be picking your avatar. There's actually a few really good ones for mastering your expressions and for basically having good expressions to begin with. I'll list a few of them on the screen right now, so go pick one of those if you're interested in any one of them. The key thing that you want to make sure is that your hands are slim, or your fingers. You want to make sure that they're all visible, so try to avoid avatars that have kind of chubbier fingers, just because it's easier to see them when they're more thin and human-like. So the first and obvious thing you want to do is go through every single one of your expressions that you can do on your avatar. So some avatars, let's say, don't have the rock and roll or the point. So you first want to make sure to see what expressions your avatar has. Now the second tip is to have either a mirror in front of you to basically look at your face while you do the expressions, or have a little desktop mirror or well face mirror. The way you enable this is you would go to your quick menu or your 3.0 menu, go options, personal mirror, settings, face mirror, and enable face mirror. And now you're going to see it here in the corner, and this will really help you with kind of getting to know your facial expressions and how they work. So now that you have this, you either use your mirror or your camera. You're going to learn what your base expressions are. So you either have finger point, do one hand at each time, because one thing you have to note is that some avatars basically combined both of the hands. So if you do finger guns on both or point on both, you may end up doing different expression. So what you're gonna do is pick whichever your hand is the dominant one, and then you're going to go through all the expressions that your avatar can do. So let's say that you have the close hand, you have the finger point, you have the finger gun, you have a rock and roll, and you have a peace sign. So you're going to remember all of those, and you're going to remember what face they do. And this mirror here this face mirror is really going to help you with these. But basically, let's say that the smile is the thumbs up, and then you remember, okay, so the smile is the thumbs up, the point is the point, and you're going to basically want to learn what they basically do, what they're connected to. Now, of course, the key thing that you want to master with expressions is to basically have them every time you're speaking. So if you're wanting to make a serious face, you know, the finger point is the kind of like squint eyes and the more serious kind of face. So that's what you're gonna go for. Now, I can't really teach you how to do expressions. I can only give you a few tips to basically master them and or to make them easier. But basically, those are your key things that you're going to focus on. And then once you remember what your one hand does, what expressions it does, you want to move on to the both hands, where you basically see what the both hands are doing as well. Of course, some avatars as well have different expressions for different hands. So after you finish with the right hand or left hand, you want to go to the other hand, and then you're basically going to see what those expressions do, and basically just again memorize them. Try your best to memorize them and visualize them what they do. Again, this face mirror is really going to help you with that, and or mirror if you have it in front of you. And then once you mastered each hand, you want to go move on to the both hands. Now this is probably the most difficult one, because you have to remember two things at the same time, and or the unique face that you get with combining both of these expressions. Now, of course, your expressions also depend on what controllers you use. So if you have index controllers, then you're in luck, because actually expressions on index controllers are quite easy to learn and to get used to. If you have Vive wands as well, the touchpad, although not as good for anything else, it's actually really nice to memorize your facial expressions, because you just put your finger on basically which pad. So let's say that the happy is, you put your finger at the top, and it's basically just more easy to remember. Index, I would say, is definitely the easiest. Of course, you have to remember the buttons. So in your case, if you don't have index controllers, you have to remember which buttons you need to press in to trigger which animation or well, which expression. Basically, you just kind of have to memorize what all these settings do, and you have to memorize what each finger triggers what expression, and then just kind of basically, to say like that, basically train it. It may sound funny, but trust me, once you master your expressions and once you master how you overall control them, you can make your avatar feel so much more alive, and it's actually really worth it to do this. I have used many different avatars over the years, and I do have to say, once you master an expressions of your avatar, you become so much more alive and serious, to say it like that. So even in a funny or whatever situations, mastering expressions is something that is really good, and I definitely advise you to do. Ironically enough, I would avoid using any avatars that don't have expressions, because like the one I'm using right now, because this is not going to help you really. And as well, try to stick on one avatar. Don't try to use more than one avatar, because this is going to really confuse your brain, because of course every avatar has its own unique expressions, and so you're going to have to relearn that again from scratch. So I would advise you to learn one avatar first, or one avatar at a time, and then once you fully master it, you're allowed to go on to the next avatar. The final, and I guess maybe the funniest tip out of them all, is really try to push yourself to make expressions while you're talking. So let's say you're trying to be more serious, and if your expression to like more serious face is a finger point, try your best to basically connect your expressions as the way you talk. So it might sound funny, but do try and do this, and it'll really help you. That's what helped me in my case, and as well as basically getting too used to the avatar, basically using one avatar for long periods of time. Eventually, you will learn your expressions. But that will do it for this tutorial. I hope that it helped you guys out. Let me know if I skipped over something down in the comments. I know that expressions is not something that's easy to learn, but trust me, once you master them, you're basically ready to go, and you're going to make your avatar feel so much more alive and immersive. As always, click here if you want to check out some of my other videos that I have created, and click here if you want to stick with the channel and keep up with all of my videos. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.